On the Friday. I'm only here for the one day, and I haven't been here for 5 years.
It feels like a while. I haven't seen you in ages.
Good God, it feels like an age. It does feel like an age. I'm seeing a real evolution, especially of the Artist Alley.
Yes, indeed.
And also the crowd that are coming in, which is great, because I feel ancient.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's a young crowd now.
I
love
know.
it.
I barely recognised half the cosplays 5 years ago. I don't recognise any now, so I'm officially out of touch.
I have no. Listen, it's great though, because it means that we've got people coming through the door, and they're coming for the Artist Alley. They're not just coming through it.
Well, no.
For the actual
exactly. And you know, it's one of the reasons I do love MCM. I mean, it is a bit of an auditory, visual, sensory nightmare, but it's alive. Like, there are people coming, which is something.
I haven't been here for a couple of years. You've been here on a regular basis. Have you? I mean, what's this year like so far? I mean, it feels like a Saturday, and it's not.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, it's the real random nature this time around is combining it with EGX.
Sure.
So we don't know quite how that's going to affect everything. But no, it's been heaving so far. I'm almost scared about tomorrow because they're busy enough as it is.
What are you like for your stock? How's things been selling? What's been going on?
It's been all right. I mean, MCM London is our main show in terms of sales. We do this and we do UK Games Expo because we've got a foot in the world of board games and RPGs and stuff. But yeah, I mean, so far for me personally, I'm like, it's been a little modest to slow so far today.
Right. Okay.
But I'm not too concerned because I know this is consistently a very good show.
And Afterlife is still ongoing.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, we've got, I believe, another 2 volumes or another volume on the way?
Yeah, so it was always planning to end with volume 9, which is still the case. Working on volume 7 at the moment.
Okay.
Which was supported by a National Lottery project grant, which was quite a very fortunate thing to get hold of. So it's been able to kind of up the scope of the project a bit.
Sure.
It's also tied into doing some comic making workshops for schools.
Oh, cool.
Back where
always a good thing to get people. Schools, libraries, I'm always down for that.
Exactly. Yeah, no, and through our studio, where we're physically based in Gloucester, we'll be connecting with a lot of community groups and local schools and stuff. So it's been nice to do that outreach as well.
Cool. Excellent
So
stuff.
yeah, volume 7 rumbling along.
There is life to Afterlife.
Yeah, I mean, it is joking aside, it's my life's work, and I can't rest until it's done, basically.
Well, it's not going to be the only thing people are talking about because the main reason why I've come to speak to you,
the elephant in the room.
Jon Lock, tell me about Tiny Hercules and tell me about this deal that's been done.
Yeah, well, it's quite fitting that you're here recording it because it is a year ago to the show.
Right.
It was MCM October last year, where 2 very nice people came by the table. First words out of their mouths were, "There's not a lot of comics at Comic-Con, are there?" And we were like, "Oh gosh, tell us about it." Yeah, rolling of the eyes and all that. But anyway, we got chatting to them and they were lovely. And it turns out, we found out later, they were editors from Macmillian children's books.
Excellent stuff.
And they were like, "Oh, we'd love to chat," and all that. They seem to like our stuff. And
now the thing is, when you hear something like that, you kind of like, you get your hopes up and you kind of wonder what's going on.
Oh no, and we've been doing this long enough now where we weren't expecting anything. I mean, to be honest, we were like God's perfect idiots, kind of stumbling through this. They like, "Oh, let's hop on Zoom, let's have a chat," and we did. And then even then, we were a bit like,
When's the penny going to drop?
Well, yeah, or even we just thought, it's nice to chat.
Yeah.
It's always nice to make friends. We didn't think anything was going to come of it. And then it's been a bit of a whirlwind because we ended up, in a matter of months, pitching. They asked us to pitch 4 ideas.
Let's have a look at the promo for this.
So, Tiny Hercules.
Indeed.
The long and short of it is we've signed a 4-book publishing deal.
Oh, wow.
With Macmillian Children's Books, which feels tremendously grown up. And books 1 and 2 are coming out in spring and summer 2026, and books 3 and 4 are coming out in the same, but for 2027. So right now we're in a quite intense but manageable production cycle where we're basically turning around a book in 8 months.
Okay.
And they're each a 208-page graphic novel. So,
while doing Afterlife?
While doing Afterlife, yes. So
no pressure?
No pressure indeed. I mean, it didn't happen overnight, but Nick and I, we both went full-time with this 2 to 3 years ago. And again, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because the moment we had time to do stuff, suddenly this opportunity arose. And if we still had the day jobs, I have no idea how this would have actually panned out in any way. But again, it's been a completely new experience for us because this is the literary world moving into comics, which to them is a very new venture, even though for us, of course, comics.
No, absolutely.
Taylor's all the time,
absolutely.
But it's very much the Jamie Smart effect.
Well, you think?
Yeah. Oh no, almost outright. Yeah, because Jamie Smart has completely transformed children's comics from a literary world.
Sure.
And so the publishers who, are very powerful but maybe a little slow to react are now going, gosh, kids like comics. Wouldn't it be wonderful?
I was being a little bit dismissive there.
Yeah.
I am a fan of Jamie Smart, so just to clarify my response there.
No, but it's interesting because, of course, they know the publishing world. They don't necessarily know comics as such. So it's been interesting working with a team that's coming at it from a very different angle.
Sure.
And the completely revolutionary thing is working with such a powerhouse of a publisher, because for the first time ever we have a marketing team, a comms team. We're talking rights international. Like, it's a big, and I think if we ever stopped and actually thought about it, we'd probably go insane. But we're just focusing on making the books as good as we can and letting the rest sort itself out.
Okay, we've talked about the nice, fun, exciting publishing start of it. Let's talk about the book.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Tell me about Tiny Hercules. Tell me about what the
so Tiny Hercules is the world's mightiest, tiniest god.
Okay.
He's the size of a jam jar. And he gets kicked out of Tiny Olympus because he ruined one too many of Tiny Zeus's parties. Tiny Zeus being an absolute party animal.
Okay.
So he gets kicked out of Tiny Olympus, gets banished to the land of the Titans, which, as it happens, is Earth.
Okay.
And he lands in a little village called Chutney on Toast, where he ends up befriending or bedeviling, if you will, a young lad called Jeff.
Okay.
And we wanted to invert the whole kind of, a kid gets a magical friend and it's wonderful. Jeff hates every minute of this. Jeff is like the most down-to-earth, boring kid you can imagine. He loves graphs, he loves numbers, he loves just having a quiet life. And now this tiny...
The last person you would see in this building.
Basically, just impossible, And so now he's ended up with this tiny wrecking ball of destruction. And Tiny Hercules can't go back to Tiny Olympus until he completes 12 legendary tasks.
Okay.
The issue is he doesn't really know what makes something legendary. And so, book one, for example, he thinks, I'll go slay a lion. But he just thinks Jeff's cat is a lion. And it ends into this madcap chase across the town.
Please tell me he doesn't kill the cat.
He does not kill the cat.
Thank
No,
God
we're very
so
clear about that.
So let's not ruin the story, but no, let's not kill the cat. That's probably a good idea.
But basically, it's we've got Tiny Zeus, who's kind of interfering. Got Tiny Hercules, who's just very insanely strong, but kind of oblivious to everything around him. And and then they're just this kind of odd couple where he ends up living with Jeff. And all his parents are so supportive. His parents are like, "Oh, you made a friend, Jeff," and he's magical and it's whimsical adventures. And Jeff is just like, "I hate every minute of this." But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're making ourselves laugh.
That's always.
And we're hoping we'll also make some kids laugh as well in the process.
What's the age range for it?
6 to 8 year olds.
Okay.
But we've been told that it will be very much younger kids can reach up. And older kids can reach down. That's the idea.
That's
so
fair enough.
yeah,
That's fair enough.
But
and it's not just you.
No.
Got, your partner in crime, who's
Nich Angell,
who's looking after things over there.
Yeah, actually doing the work over there. Joined at the hip basically at this point.
We can do, but I mean, I think he's looking busy. He's doing deep in sales mode. You can see there's arms gesticulating and everything.
Yeah.
So he did the whole pointing thing. No, we'll leave him alone.
No, it's fine.
We'll leave him alone.
But no, so it's obviously been working with Nick for years. It's a joy. We're having so much fun working on it. I mean, it's a lot of work.
Okay.
But it's funny.
What I love about this story is the fact that it came from a Comic-Con. We hear about the networking. We hear about the stories being told and the kind of the connections being made, but the fact that they came to you at a con and the whole thing came from that, I think that's just...
and the truly bizarre thing is that I think if you'd asked me when I was starting out, I thought this is what happened. I thought that you don't make comics yourself. The hand of fate plucks you out. Yeah. Now, we got into self-publishing, we formed Big Punch Studios, we've just been grinding away at it for years, and suddenly now, this thing happens, and I don't know what the lesson here is. I don't know, what am I supposed to tell? What's the takeaway point? I don't know. But the
takeaway point is dreams can come true. You can get signed with Macmillan, and you can get a 4-book deal.
4-book deal, yeah.
You do rather well out.
And Well, yes, I've got to say, like, working with a big publisher has had its benefits, I can say.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's nice in itself. But like, we recognise how incredibly lucky we've been in this. It was blind luck that they walked down our aisle at the right time.
Fantastic.
I mean, like, ultimately, you want to be good at what you do, but more than anything, you want to be lucky.
Sure.
So we're never going to lose sight of just how lucky we were.
Fantastic.
And actually, I mean, we haven't even, the books aren't out yet.
I'm just going to say, let's...
Yeah, they could be awful. We've got to make them really good now.
I doubt that. Let's put it this way, you've got the pedigree. It's very unlikely between the pair of you that this is going to be
well, thank you. I think all the years in the Artist Alley or the Comic Village have honed us. I think that's been invaluable experience.
You've done the legwork, you've done the mileage. He stopped gesticulating. I don't know if you do want to bring him in and sort of like say hi.
Nick,
you want to just sort of like wave and sort of like...
Do you have anything to add? Do you just want to say hello or...
Hello. Yeah, I've just got a lot of drawing to do, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the big one.
What is the separation of powers? What's
we sort of plotted it out, didn't we, story-wise together. So the very topmost line of the story and everything that's happening was a joint effort. But then it really goes over to Jon for a lot of like the true writing, a lot of the jokes coming from Jon.
Well.
So you've got to be funny.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, he has been saying, as long as we've been making ourselves laugh. Is he making himself laugh?
Yes.
Yeah.
But me as well.
But then the artwork comes back, and like we've clearly, like, two people in the world are fans of this book, which is us, because we make ourselves, we're cracking up all the time. So it is a delight in that regard.
Excellent.
And then after you finish the artwork, it goes back to me for lettering. So we're trying to split the load, basically.
Yeah. And you've got to be writing book 2.
Yes.
While I'm deep in drawing book 1 still.
Whereabouts are you in production of the books? I mean, we're due. Was it? Launching 2026.
Yeah, so it's still over a year out from release.
Yeah. Okay. But we've got to get it done by January, end of January.
Yeah. So we're halfway through book 1. So now, start of Feb, we've got to deliver the final manuscript of book 1. And then we had an email from the editors just yesterday asking about, we want to start talking about book 2, so we've got to start plotting and writing book 2. So it is kind of, it does not stop, basically. We've got to, at least for a couple of years.
Second half of production, book 1, final artwork and letters. That's where we are right now.
Yeah.
And attending cons.
Yes.
And doing Afterlife. And doing your... Oh,
yes.
Life. These guys are working their arse off, and it's paying off. This is what we wanted to see.
Oh, well, thank you.
We're doing our best.
Listen, Jon, Nick, thank you so much indeed for your time. Enjoy the rest of your con.
Thank you.
Considering, like I say, it feels like a Saturday. It's not. It's Friday. It's day 1.
Wild.
Good Lord. I mean, all the very best to you guys. For the stamina alone, just crack on with it. Okay.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much indeed.
Cheers.